Okay, we are live. Sorry I am 30 minutes late, but for once it's not my own fault. I was having technical problems with Pokebite not connecting to Super Shucky, the emulator that I'm using. But then when I went into the Discord server to talk about my problem, Ion asked me, hey, what version of Pokebite are you on? I'm assuming 0.10.2, and I looked. I was on 0.9. I was probably several versions behind. So yeah, I had to update. And everything works. Yep, fun stuff. Anyway, today we'll be doing Pokemon Sapphire with Lunatone. The video for this week will be Solrock. But I do think of the two, I think Lunatone might be better because it's more offensive. Actually, wait, no. Actually, it's kind of weird. Solrock has more physical attack, while Lunatone has more special attack. And with Solrock, the higher physical attack only really helped with, like, Earthquake and Rock Slide. Yeah, Sundown, it was very behind, because usually between the 0.9 and the 0.10s and the 0.11s, there's always tinier sub-updates. You know, the ones with, like, not as much. Technically still your fault. Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, it was still my fault. You should try unplugging and plugging it back in. That would shut down everything. But, yeah, I hope you all had time to look over the stats in the move pool. I think this thing will be pretty straightforward. Even though Psychic types aren't that great in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald because of all the Dark types, it's nowhere near as bad as Emerald in terms of Dark types. And at least we don't start with a Psychic move. Like, we start with Tackle, so we won't have to go use Struggle. And we are in the fast level up group, so we'll be leveling up pretty fast. And we'll get Confusion at level 7, then Rock Throw at 13, Hypno Miss, Psywave, Gross, and then Psychic at level 37. And we do get Cosmic Power, which will hold us over until we get Calm Mind. And with our other stats, we're going with Modest for extra special attack, less attack. I feel like that's the best nature. Hey, Reiji. Our abilities Levitate, so we're immune to ground attacks, which isn't the most useful in Ruby and Sapphire. Not many people really use ground moves. I mean, without it, we'd be weak to ground, so that's nice. And our hidden power typing is going to be Hidden Power Fire. Steven Stone is at the end of the game, and Hidden Power Fire is a really good answer for his entire team. Hidden Power Water technically is as well, but Hidden Power Fire gives us coverage against Winona's Skarmory. But Hidden Power Water would help with Flannery, but Flannery in this game is an absolute joke. I would say she may as well be the hiker because she's in the mountains, but her Torkoal can be a problem, so I won't say that. Alright, so I guess we'll go ahead and get started. I also adjusted my starting time. I'm going to include the Zigzagoon fight in the time. I literally just did the intro skip, saved the game immediately inside the truck, and I put the starter in my party. So the time's going to start at 14 seconds. So that way I won't have to, like, make a new ROM every time, like set stats, stuff like that. Anyway, I better set an over-under, because we are running pretty late. What time will I beat Steven at? Yeah, normally we do some pre-planning, but this Pokemon's going to be pretty straightforward, I think. I don't think we'll need to. But if we take a look at the leaderboard here, our first place time is a 103 with Swampert. I highly doubt this will get 103, but if we scroll down here, let's look at Relicanth. Relicanth's another water type, or not water type, rock type, and it got a 130. I do think this will be better than Lunatone, than Relicanth by a huge margin, but is it better than Slowbro? I don't know. Slowbro had good coverage, but it was so slow. Honestly, maybe it'll be better than Slowbro. Probably not better than Melodic. I think I'll put the over-under at 115 to 118. We'll give that a try. Anyway, I'd say we're all ready. 3, 2, 1, go. What the hell was that? Let me try starting that over. Might have been a weird random bug. That was weird. What the fuck? What? I'm gonna try closing out of the emulator and reopening it. Alright, mapper's loaded. Okay, let's try this again. 3, 2, 1, go. What? What? Okay, I'll need to report this as a bug. I'll switch emulators. I'm gonna switch to BizHawk. Good thing I kept it. Yeah, it only became compatible with Super Shucky recently, the GBA games. I'm guessing there's still problems. And this is a vanilla copy of the game, so it's definitely not the ROM's problem. No, there's no changes to the ROM. It's completely vanilla. Apparently I have to use a new, DLL file now with this new update. I just need to download this DLL file. Unverified download blocked. Shut up. Okay. I'll just need to put this in the Pokebyte folder. Or no, this is a... I gotta install this in the BizHawk, extensions thing. Alright, here we are. Alright, DLL. I think it goes in here. Okay. Alright, relaunch BizHawk. Yep, Lunatone. Now, if only I can get this thing to work. Oh, I'm gonna need to put in, BizHawk here. Just gonna go here for a second. That was my Emerald overlay. Oh, right. There's a different save file on here. Oh, I think this is Soul Rock's save file. Oh, I'll need to... I'll need to reset up my save. You know, there's always tech problems whenever you, change things. Just sucks. Sorry, people. Yeah, at least when I make that bug report, I can just link to the stream as a reference. Let's see. It's using its psychic powers to stop me from playing. Yep. Now the annoying thing is I'm gonna have to reload the Pokemon in here. Alright, now to relaunch the emulator. Okay, everything seems to be working now. Or everything else is working now. I believe so, yes. Alright, can we finally please play? Apparently, Super Shucky GBA has a problem with that. Alright, in 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, I hope this can show you it wasn't the ROM. It's definitely an emulator problem. At least this doesn't do what Oras does, and it moves the Trico into slot 1, which is very annoying. Alright, may as well defeat these things, because we're going to need level 7. I mean, we could deposit the Trico. If this was Emerald, I would deposit the Trico, because so that way we can skip mandatory double battles. But double battles in this game, the twins that you'd see everywhere, they will not fight you unless you talk to them, so I don't need to worry about that. It reminded me of the loading screens. It kind of did, yeah. Hey, John. Refreshing to see Sapphire. Yeah, it's been a bit. To be fair, with any game I do nowadays, I'll always say it's been a bit. Yeah, I'm pretty much the only one who plays this game. I know Aki's played Ruby a couple of times, but that was just for fun. I just like seeing the differences between this game and Emerald. This is going to slightly confuse my Emerald brain. It won't be that bad. Just ignore the font. That's probably going to be the biggest thing for most people, is the font. Because they changed the font of the Gen 3 games in Fire Red and Leaf Green. So Ruby and Sapphire having the original font does definitely throw some people off for sure. What is the one key difference? The one key difference that's going to affect almost every Pokemon solo run from Emerald to Ruby and Sapphire. The number one thing that people need to know. Calvin's no longer a monster. Okay, that's technically not what I was thinking of. Because even if Flyer. Because even if Calvin weren't here, there is still that grunt in the forest. But no, what I was going to say... Uh-oh. No, it's not the gym leaders. The biggest difference, there's no substitute tutor. Owen is very reliant on substitute in Emerald. Like, look at any solo run, the move is just that broken. You just have to have it. That doesn't exist. So people like Sydney and Phoebe are actually more terrifying. Mainly Sydney. Because on Phoebe, it's only really her lead Dusclops you gotta worry about. But with Sydney, his entire team is gonna screw with you. Smash, you always seem to care about that thing. You know, I don't know if I should have fought this guy, but to be fair, whatever. It's good XP. At least it's very quick. At least this thing doesn't have a dark move. Yeah, so that's the number one difference. I have actually found an advantage. Your moveset isn't as restricted for the mid game to late game, so you could get away with multiple types of coverage moves. Instead of like a stab move, a coverage move, substitute, and a setup move, you could just have a setup move and three coverage moves. Oh yeah, pickup's pretty broken in this game. I'll just sell that for money. Yeah, Sydney is very weak to Ice Beam, that's a positive. I don't think I'll need the Quick Claw, no. Oh, I got that recommended to me. It was a Pokemon Sapphire speedrun with arbitrary code execution. That stuff's insane, man. Oh. Hmm. I hope I beat her, because I forgot to save. Oh yeah, I had no idea EV reducing berries weren't in this game. Like, the berries themselves are in it, but all they are just Pokeblock ingredients. It was Emerald that gave them their use. But to be fair, that's kind of a minor niche thing. I like how it was 4 seconds faster than just grabbing Thief. What's 4 seconds faster than grabbing Thief? I'm confused. To be honest, I kind of prefer Sapphire to the gym routine lies in not being broken. So many runs require to think about it more than you leave for. I don't hate the fact that they're harder. The one thing I do like, in general, is just they're faster games. That's basically it. They're just faster games. I will say, though, like, the amount of bloat that's in the Magma and Aqua side quests, like, in between the 6th gym and the 7th gym, is just insane. There's just a lot of bloat. But the bloat in this game is very minimal, which I'll always appreciate. It's kind of like... hold on. Get a few potions, some antidotes, paralyzed heals, 1 escape rope. So what I was going to say is, the amount of bloat is just ridiculous. It's kind of like the whole, like, rocket radio tower. Like, the amount of mandatory grunts you have to face in Crystal versus the number of mandatory grunts in the remakes, it's a night and day comparison. Like, up until the executive petrol, I think in Crystal you end up fighting, like, almost 10 mandatory fights before you get to him. In Heart Gold Soul Silver, it's just 1. There's only 1 mandatory fight before him. Rip Magikarps. I do not like how off-center the friendship is on the heart. I really need to fix that. I think I might need to, like, shrink the size of the text or make the heart bigger. It might be easier to just shrink the text. Because I had it centered with the number 255 in mind. Like, as soon as that number hits 255, it'll be center. I mean, there's just not much I can really do about it. Like, there's just going to be some numbers where it's off-center. Hypno-miss, sure. You know, I think I'll just leave it alone. Like, no matter what I do, there's going to be some numbers where it's not center. I mean, theoretically, I could just not have it inside a heart. Oh, maybe something I could do is remove the heart, and maybe, like, in the white little bar that the held item is in, I could just have the number in there on the right side, and then just to the left, with it being left aligned, I can just put an image of a heart, so that way it's always center. That might actually be better. I mean, I like the heart being on the screen, but sometimes seeing the numbers not center is just really starting to trigger me. Dude. It's why I don't like having psychic moves in slot 1. Alright, so what am I going to do for Watson? Probably just train. Yeah, I like their designs. Man, I can't stop staring at that friendship value. Oh my god, oh man. I 100% blame Steve for this. Like, Steve has always gotten it in my mindset that you should always make sure things are centered. And I've designed my overlays around it. I mean, I know the return effective power isn't exactly center, but I'm okay with it because it'll be centered once it reaches 102, but at the same time, I might redesign that as well. Maybe, like, have the rectangle be narrower, have the word return on the side, colon, and then the number. Yeah, that would probably look better, so it's always center. Well, I guess that's 2 overlay changes I'll need to make. Alright, gonna save here just in case. I did not need to save. Here's my question. What's our plan for Watson? Thigh wave. Well, there's our plan. I remember with the Soul Rock video that's coming out on Friday, Thigh wave is actually a good move for Magneton because it deals neutral damage. It never does type effective damage. How Psywave works in this game, it does anywhere from 100% of the users, or I think it's anywhere from 50% of the user's level to 150% of the user's level. So right now it'll do 13 to 39. It is inaccurate as well, which is annoying, but it bypasses, like, super effectiveness, so it'll be really helpful. Yeah, the Whalmer has Splash. It's pretty funny. That's probably why in Emerald they replaced it with a Lombre and a Ludicolo. Well, honestly, I may as well just fight the surrounding trainers. Because the higher level I can get, the more damage Psywave will do. I swear, I need to put a piece of tape on my monitor where that friendship is so I stop looking at it. And if I want to, I can actually hold on to the Macho Brace while training for EVs. But it's not like the EVs will be too useful. Although something I could do is I could actually hold on to... I'm going to do it for this run. I'm going to try something. Here's what I'm going to do. I think every trainer on this bridge gives special attack EVs. Because I think everyone here has Magnemite. Plus, I need the experience anyway. Man, I hate how it's so inaccurate. I believe this was starting Generation 5 or Generation 6. They made Psywave 100% accurate. And I think they changed it at that point to be anywhere from 100 to 150% of the user's level. They made it better. Actually, no, that thing gives speed. Alright, I'm gonna fight these guys too first. I think once I'm done with Watson, I shouldn't need too much optional training anymore. And besides, this training will end up being useful for Norman because we're gonna want Psychic for him. And we get Psychic at level 37. So this will help us get to level 37. Every trainer did have Magnemites. It's just that it was... I guess that's true. What I did say was every trainer has Magnemite. I guess, the wrong way, I could have interpreted it as there are only Magnemites. But I think I did say earlier, they all give special attack. Which, there's technically some that give speed. So long, Hypnosis, never knew ya. Imagine a world where I keep Psywave over Hypnosis. Scott would probably throw up at the sight of that. So weird how that guy has like no sight in this game. And I do want to buy some calcium as my vitamin of the day. So I'm going to go ahead and go get... HP up. You did that in Omega Ruby. What exactly did I do? Sorry, like, I just know there's like a 20-second gap, and my short-term memory isn't that great. It's actually very bad. I don't remember what my strat was for Watson. I think I used Bulldoze in ORS for Watson. Sorry, I'm just... When a stream gets delayed because of tech issues, you just keep thinking of the tech issues. Alright, 33. Alright, so now we're just gonna have to save Scum Watson. We need luck. We need good luck with Psywave. Play Psywave. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, it's because Psywave's garbage. Or no, Hypnosis is garbage. Psywave is still garbage, but this is like one of the only uses where Psywave is actually good. Most of the trainers don't have electric types. You don't need to notice things like that, John. I mean, yeah, I would like to use Super Shucky for GBA games just because it runs really good. But what's strange is just like why the loading times were bad in between rooms. I just hope Snowy can figure out the issue. I'll make sure to give him a report. Stop noticing the truth. Exactly. At least we're almost there to Psychic. What about Strength? Oh, if you're asking about a Strength user, we'll be getting Meryl. Alright, cool trainer Brooke. Fun fact, in Ruby and Sapphire speedruns, if you miss a mud shot range on this Roselia, you're straight up dead. Because you're playing with Marsh Stomp. It has accuracy, or it's mud shot. It's 95 accurate, and not only that, I think it's, from what I've heard, it's like a 60-something% range. And if you miss it, you're just straight up dead. There's no way around it. These games are actually very brutal to speedrun. It's actually a lot easier to speedrun Emerald. Okay, I think just 11 for now. How do you think Lunatone would do in Moon? Bad. The only reason I say that is because it's a Psychic type. Psychic types are horrible in Moon. Even with Soft Sand? I believe it was using Soft Sand, actually. I'm not 100% sure. because I'm not sure on the specific Mudkip that was used, and you essentially skip almost every trainer in the game. Honestly, to think of a one-time speed thing, maybe the soft sand makes it safer, but it does take time on one-time speed to pick it up and equip it. And I think if you're trying to go for the record time, you might just have to accept the range. Because speedruns try to skip everything. I think Lunala is the only psychic type I've played so far. It's the second ever ghost type. I still legitimately believe that Decidueye doesn't suffer because of its grass typing, like I originally thought. It suffered because of its ghost typing. Because I played a pure grass type in Simisage, and Simisage actually performed quite decent. Fun fact, in Ruby, this guy has Seviper. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and get the white herb, just in case. I mean, sounds like Mewtwo and Emerald. Oh yeah, I did play Solgaleo. That was another psychic type. Honestly, I think its steel type really made up for it because it didn't have the weakness to Ghost and Dark. Oh wait, no, it did have the weakness to Ghost and Dark. I think just having Stab Ironhead at level 7 was just very broken. I think that's what helped it. But what did Lunala get? Confusion. Yeah, one gets Confusion, one gets freaking Ironhead. Rock Polish, I mean, that's a good move. Honestly, what I'm going to start doing for runs in Pokemon Moon, I'm going to look at all of their status moves, like actual status moves, even moves like Recycle. I'll look at their Z move effects and see what stat they boost. Because, who knows, we might find another Z conversion. Oh yeah, and Nightshade. Bruh. I wonder if it's worth using the white herb for this fight. I mean, I did just miss Rock Throw. Oh my god. You know what? I don't think the white herb's going to be that useful for Sydney. I'm just going to go ahead and equip it now. This might be what I did with Solrock. I'm not sure. I'll have to do the voiceover for the video and look. There we go. Yeah, I feel like the white herb was needed to win that. Solrock probably did have Rock Slide, so it probably didn't need to do that. Is Cosmic Power ever worth using? I'm just holding on to it until I get Calm Mind. It might be useful for Norman. Body slam. I hate how you can't jump down the ledge like you can in Emerald. Alright, I'm gonna get a lot of the high money items in the desert. Ah, damn it. Well, I'll just skip that nugget. Not a big deal. That's embarrassing. Yeah, no mandatory trainers. There's no mandatories in Emerald either. Oh my god. Alright guys, time for some vitamins. I don't need to buy Hidden Power. Alright, so I'm getting calcium. I keep those balls. Oh, I could have taught Rock Tomb. Oh well, Rock Throw's better. Alright, so I can buy... I'll buy 5. And I think I'll buy the rest in... I'll buy some iron. I think HP Bug Lunatone would be interesting to run. I might do it in the future. I'm also running on my new PC. Do you think 4 times speed would be worth changing to? Absolutely. Dude, that is a dumb question. Do you want your runs to go faster or no? You may think it's hard to control at first, but it'll be worth it. Trust me. Also, John, I saw your poll. You're not going to like the result of it. Alright, thankfully that wasn't the focus punch slacking second. That would have been bad. Yeah, his second slacking is kind of a joke in this game. But it can be hard, depending on what it chooses to do. I've argued that Norman's the only gym leader that's actually harder in the originals than in Emerald, just because he has the second slacking. But granted, it could spam focus punch. But not always. I have seen it use feint attack in the past. Funnily enough, Trico could be the strength user, but I have to get Meryl anyway. That was quick. Psywave. Nice. I'm not going to pull a Scott and have the HM users be guaranteed catches, because I think that's lame. The thing is, Dusclops is super weak offensively, but its defensive stats are incredible. Okay, I cannot learn Thunderbolt, so I'll have to skip that guy. John, I never wanted you to play a bad Oh, yeah. I remember I was telling you, I was telling you Ghost is one of the worst typings in Sun and Moon, and you were telling me I was wrong. And I was telling you the only Ghost types you played are good ones. Like, you were playing Pokemon that were, like, exceptions rather than the rule. Because if you played with an average Ghost type, there's just so many Pokemon in that game that will use moves like Sucker Punch, Crunch, Bite. They're just everywhere. Plus, there's the entire Ghost Trial, too. The Ghost Trial is essentially the hardest trial in the entire game, and having a type that's weak to it is awful. Hey, Banana Tree guy. Oh yeah, that Dusclops would be pretty hard to kill, yeah. I mean, Scott used to just have the guaranteed encounters. Like, for example, I think what he did was on the first route, the only encounters would be Zigzagoon. Then as soon as he catches it, the encounters go back to normal. I understood why, because sometimes hunting for the HM user isn't fun. I personally wouldn't do it, because I think it changes the game too much. But I'm like, okay, whatever. But then he recently changed it to where not only are they guaranteed encounters, but they're guaranteed catches. So essentially his Pokeballs become Master Balls. I think that takes out a lot of the planning it takes to catch those things. Because I remember he said in the past once that some Pokemon have an easier time catching HM users than others, and it should be a part of its results, which I agreed with. But I guess he changed his mind, which is unfortunate. Because otherwise, like, what if you're playing with a legendary that has only powerful moves? Normally catching an HM user is pretty difficult, but it never has to deal with that consequence. Like, I remember with our crystal backports with the Mega Evolutions, it actually is an advantage having one very weak move. Because that one very weak move helps with catching Pokemon. Yeah, it feels less like Pokemon, it just feels like you're playing a TAS. Plus, it's kind of a slippery slope. Like, you have the guaranteed catches. What's stopping you from making Hypnosis 100% accurate? Because it's not the Pokemon's fault that it misses Hypnosis. And what if the logic ends up being, well, I'm going to end up doing 20 runs until I get a run with no Hypno misses, but why don't I just make it so it'll never miss? Things like that. Like, Scott may not go that way, but some people could see that as an actual argument. Oh, that's the biggest thing. Mod out critical hits from the opponent. Because if the opponent crits you, like, how is that your fault? Like, imagine if a Pokemon got a single reset because it got crit. Like, that's not its fault. Alright, so long, Psywave. It was nice knowing you. Yeah, meaning no 5 playthroughs to get the luck you need. It's just a slippery slope, I think. Like, I like runs that actually feel like a Pokemon game. Like, the only things I, like, truly quote-unquote mod are like my starter having maximum stat IVs. So you're playing with the best possible version of that Pokemon. Because it's not fun playing with like something with like random stats. It just makes runs not repeatable at all. But other than that, the only other thing I mod out is the luck from the Heart Gold Soul Silver game corner. Because having to actually play the entire thing and just completely losing all your coins is just lame and boring. Plus there's the Surge Trash Can puzzle. Like, those are things that I would not mind anyone cheating on. Like, I remember when Madrybread did save states in the Heart Gold Soul Silver game corner once, and I thought it was a great idea. That's the reason I ended up using save states. Oh yeah, and modding the spinners too. I've never been in favor of modding out spinners. They're a part of the game. Like, if a Pokemon's time suffers because of it, well, you should get better at dodging spinners. There's actual strategies you can use to dodge spinners, like Gen 3 with the bag trick, but Scott didn't want to bother learning it, or getting good at it. Alright, I'm gonna need some more super repels, and I may as well do this for XP. This is a pretty good fight to do. There's no reason to ever go in here in Ruby and Sapphire because the substitute tutor doesn't exist. But this is still good XP. Besides, I just need repels. Nope. Or, better yet, what if... Here's a piece of logic. Theoretically, if I wanted to, I could find a way to mod the adrenaline orbs. Like, what if I started each run with 999 adrenaline orbs? So that way, whenever I want to do SOS training, I think I want Shadow Ball. Like, whenever I want to do SOS training, I can just use those during battles and guarantee that they actually summon helpers. Because it eliminates a lot of RNG. I wouldn't allow it, obviously, because no items in battle, but theoretically I could make an exception for it. Yeah, Fire Blast is a great move. Fun fact, you can actually pick up the incenses in here and actually sell them for some good money. I told you about that lady you can dodge. Oh yeah, the one with the Ghastly. But someone like Scott would mod her out. Yeah, so you won't have to like get good at like barely nudging to skip her. Yeah, I think it's an actual piece of skill. Like, if you're ever playing a Pokemon where you have only normal moves, you have to skip that person. It'll take a couple of tries. Oh yeah, it would not be fun. That doesn't feel like playing Pokemon. Because otherwise, if every Pokemon you ever fight has a guaranteed call, you could just SOS chain on fully evolved Pokemon. Alright, I feel like I should repeat this. This is not me hating on him. I like his content. I mean, Matt does things I don't like. Like, Matt was the reason Scott started having guaranteed HM user catching. I mean, Matt did something else recently that I thought was awful. He actually guaranteed wild Pokemon held items. So if, like, something has a 5% chance of a metal coat, he will have it modded to be 100%. Shadow Stitch did something similar, but to a less extreme degree. Or no, it was still an extreme degree. Like, with the Blitzels, he had them guaranteed hold Cherry Berries, because normally it's 50%. Which, I get it. 50 to 100%, I get it. Not that much of an improvement, if you truly think about it, but it's not something I would do. It's meant to be an unreliable strat. But some people, I think, just care way too much about consistency and comparing other Pokemon that, like, you're not, like, thinking in terms of the game. Like, I'm messing up my words. Like, it doesn't feel like you're playing the game when you can mod it to do whatever you want. Like, if something isn't... If it's an unreliable strat, then you would think in a solo run speedrun challenge, you actually wouldn't want to use that, because that's not the fastest way to play the game. But of course, if you mod it to be guaranteed, then it becomes the fastest. Oh yeah, 5% Omega Lucky at guaranteed. To be fair though, those games are easy enough as it is. It wouldn't need it, but I get your point. Also, I feel like as long as I teach Shadow Ball, I'm not going to need to do training. Get rid of Rock Throw. I'm not going to want that move. Yeah, my moveset's going to be Psychic, Hidden Power, Calm Mind. Whoops. Yeah, it's going to be Psychic, Hidden Power, Calm Mind, and my fourth move, Ice Beam. I mean, Shadow Ball, this is like the last spot Shadow Ball is useful for, in my opinion. Wait, what switched him? Oh, whoops. Hey, Star Leo. Yeah, exactly. Like, I brought this example up earlier with my, Mega Evolution, backport series. Like, it's actually an advantage for the Mega Pokemon if it starts with a weak move like Tackle, because you can hold on to it and, use it to catch the Krabby easier. Alright, at least the Lunatone's gone. But the Soul Rock is probably going to be a two-shot. Okay, maybe I should use a Psychic as well. Oh, special D-drop, nice. Rock Throw's weaker anyway, true. It's just outlived its usefulness. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get Ice Beam right now. Wait, no. Oh, check this out. That kid can see you through the walls. I think he's one of 3 trainers in this game that can do that. There might be more trainers that can do that, but I know of 3. You do not need Dive. Right there. You can get it as soon as you beat Norman. He's a ghost. Alright, I think this is going to end up being my final moveset. I mean, what better moves can I get at this point? Like, Psychic for great stab coverage, Ice Beam for coverage, Hidden Power Fire for the steel types. I mean, I guess unless I want Earthquake. But I don't think there's a reason I'd ever want Earthquake. I don't know. I think another reason I'm just not a fan of modding out RNG is because, like, before I started doing solo runs, I started out as being a speedrunner, like an actual real speedrunner. I've submitted and done speedruns for almost 8 years. And that kind of stuff has always been a massive no-no. Like, people would be called cheaters for doing stuff like that. But to be fair, hacking in Pokemon with maxed out IVs would be considered cheating as well. But at least that stuff is kind of a substitute for RNG manipulation. You can't do RNG manipulation for stuff like spinners. I do have rest. I pretty much always get rest just in case. Modding takes no skill. I mean, it takes skill to know how to do the modding, but I get what you mean. Dude, this thing doesn't have crunch anymore. Dude, wow, this guy sucks. Here's my question. Do I think under 115 was an appropriate over-under? I think it was. Because I don't see how I'm going to lose to Wallace. Whoops. Let's see. We'll have Ice Beam for Sydney. I mean, we won't have good coverage for the Crawdunt. But to be fair, it's not like we get Thunderbolt. This thing doesn't even get Shockwave. I mean, the main argument I've heard for the Mount Moon encounters is the speedruns do RNG manipulation. But RNG manipulation takes actual skill to do. And even then, it's not guaranteed. People actually don't know this, but even if you do the RNG manipulation perfect for Mount Moon in the speedruns, it still has a chance to fail. There's some frames you save on that will just straight up not work. So even then, even if you do all the inputs perfectly, it's not consistent. Like, there are some frames where you'll spawn the pairs, but it won't go into a Pokeball. There's some frames where you'll get an early Zubat. There's some where the pairs won't even spawn at all, and you'll just have no encounters. This way. The puzzle's completely different between this game and Emerald. There we go. The Parasect race had Mount Moon encounters. I will admit, though, for the race specifically, if we had Mount Moon encounters, I think so many people would have hated the race even more, because if the first place had, like, somehow gotten 2 Mount Moon encounters, everyone would be resetting over Mount Moon. That's an instance where I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of glad there's no encounters for that, but I'm talking, like, doing playthroughs in general. But it did get to a point where it wasn't fun doing the runs anymore. Fun fact, this Kecleon does not exist in Emerald. Oh my god. True, yeah. That's the other thing with, like, the rare candy amount moon in my runs. People always say it's a free rare candy because it's right there. If you have to deal with encounters, it's technically not a free candy. You have to think, like, are you willing to accept the risk of 3 more wild encounters? For most Pokemon, the answer is yes. Optimizing the fun. I feel like speedruns don't really do the same, because in speedruns, you get to learn about, like, ways of glitching out the game, manipulating the game with nothing but the cartridge. And there's, like, a satisfying, fun skill into doing that, because you didn't mod anything. Like, all those manips you see people do are possible on a vanilla cartridge, which makes it even more impressive. You don't have to mod anything. Ouch. Man, this Pokemon's making great time. I'm very impressed. Also, can anyone look up for me what is... Wait, hold on. The fastest Pokemon in the game, I believe Drake Salamence has 132 speed. So yeah, we'll probably outspeed it after candies. I'll probably use candies before Drake. But yeah, coming up right now is going to be Sydney. If we had Substitute in the place of Hidden Power Fire, Sydney would be an absolute joke. But we're going to have to deal with Sand Attack. Maybe I should just use the candies before Sydney, so that way I can do the most amount of raw damage. Hey, Gardevoir's cheating. No double team. Oh wait, no. It gets double teamed by level up. Never mind. You're not cheating. Dude, that is why Ace is freaking impressive. Like, you use the game to mod the game. It's hilarious. I've seen people do arbitrary code execution in Ocarina of Time to actually mod in custom cutscenes. It's actually impressive what they can do. Alright, yeah, all the candies. Still cheating? Yeah, that is true, yes. Almost no speedrun categories allow the use of Ace. It would have to be explicitly any percent. Like, any percent, basically just, it's the standard default category for most speedruns. It's essentially just beat the game as fast as possible, whatever means necessary. That's what any percent means. Like, any amount of progress. But most categories do not allow the use of Ace. A lot of categories don't allow glitches unless otherwise stated. Some allow them, some don't. Like, each category has their own custom rules. Alright, so hopefully I can... Oh, I probably should have equipped a Person Berry. Ouch. Dude, he just crit me twice. How dare you? I'll just equip a Citrus Berry instead. guess we can all agree Phoebe's a cheater. Oop. Uh-oh. That was completely my fault. I misclicked and went for Psychic. Ooh, got the range. Nice. I did not know it was a range. Phoebe the Dustclops? Did you see my comment? On the bright side, Rock and Psychic is not weak to Ice. Also, this is my first time actually using Calm Mind this whole run. What do you mean that was you trying to be funny? Like, what was the joke? I don't get it. Oh, the light screen was still up. Don't worry about it? Okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, mate. Oh yeah, this guy, 4 out of 5 of his Pokemon are 4 times weak to Ice. Just sad. Alright, I'm gonna use Rest over Psychic. And Chesto Berry. Yeah, we don't need Psychic for Steven. Psychic's a useless move for him. We'll need Ice Beam for the Claydol, and the Cradily, Fire for everything else. It won't be a headache. We'll have Resto Chesto. Okay, I think that should be enough. Bruh, really? I mean, at least it didn't do much. The Armaldo was like the only thing I was really worried about. Because this thing's weak to Ice Beam. Everything else is weak to Fire. Okay, maybe not that thing, but its special defense isn't that good, and thank God Sturdy doesn't work in this game. Oh, whoops. Okay, Reflect. Thank you for being an idiot. 105.23. Dang, that was impressive. This was with no pre-planning either. I feel like I did everything right in this run. I think getting all those candies and using them for Sydney to make him as easy as possible was key. 4:09 game time. That was a really good run. I really underestimated this thing. I can't remember what Solrock's time was, but it's not like I'm gonna spoil it anyway. You'll have to wait for the video. But anyway, let's go ahead and add this to the leaderboard. This will be our 21st Sapphire playthrough. You voted for the in-between. 46% under. Alright, we were level 68. 4 resets. 1 hour, 5 minutes, 23 seconds. Game time of 4 hours and 9 minutes. Alright, so if we take a quick look at the leaderboard. 457 real time? You mean game time, right? I mean, to be fair, I did have Calm Mind and Rest, but I think you were probably assuming I wasn't going to teach it or something. But yeah, if we take a look here, Lunatone got 2nd place overall. Do I think it's better than Swampert? No. I mean, Swampert had 11 resets and still got a faster time. I believe the resets were mostly because of, if I had to guess, probably Norman. I'm not sure where the other resets were. But it still did really good. Do I think Solrock will be as good? I think close. Do I think it'll beat it? Not sure. But anyway, thank you all for stopping by, everyone. I do appreciate it. The next stream will be, the next actual Pokemon stream will be on Thursday. We'll be doing Pokemon Sapphire with a random Pokemon. It could be a first stage. The only Pokemon game I'm only doing fully evolved is Pokemon Moon. Every other game I do, there might be a first stage. But my next actual stream will be tomorrow, where I'll be hopefully getting a good speedrun in for Monster Lab on the DS before I move on to the Wii version. The Wii version is probably going to suck because of all the loading screens. The Wii and PS2 have really bad loading screens, which the DS didn't have. But